Chapter 39. At that time Merodach-Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent a letter and a present to Hezekiah, for he heard that he had been sick and was recovered. And Hezekiah was glad of them, and showed them his treasure house, the silver and the gold, and the spices and the precious oil, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not. Then came Ishaiah the prophet unto King Hezekiah, and said unto him, What said these men, and from where came they unto you? And Hezekiah said, They are come from a far country unto me, even from Babylon. Then said he, What have they seen in your house? And Hezekiah answered, All that is in my house have they seen. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not shown them. Then said Ishaiah to Hezekiah, Hear the word of the Lord of hosts. Behold, the days come that all that is in your house, that which your fathers have laid up in store until this day, shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing shall be left, said the Lord. And your sons that shall issue from you, whom you shall beget, shall they take away, and they shall be officers in the palace of the king of Babylon. Then said Hezekiah unto Ishaiah, Good is your word, good is the word of the Lord, which you have spoken. He said moreover, If but there shall be peace and truth in my days. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. We'll remember yesterday that Hezekiah was sick. It was during a period of time when Hezekiah was sick that he thought he was going to die. Matter of fact, Isaiah or Ishaiah come and told him, You're going to die. Get your house in order. And Hezekiah had prepared his house and everything to die, and he had turned his face to the wall and cried, and God had heard his prayers and had sent Ishaiah back to tell him, You're going to live now, and told him to put a plaster of figs on his boil there, and he would be healed. And we'll find that Hezekiah did recover from his sickness, just like God said he was going to do. He recovered from his sickness, and God did defend the city of Jerusalem, but we'll find that he didn't do it for Hezekiah. God did it for his own name, because he's declared himself mighty in the earth. And we're going to find out this is all the prophecies of the end, how God is going to declare his self great in the end, even above all that there is, above even all things that have been lifted up. God shall declare himself great through a magnificent work that he's already performed and is still performing. We're going to pick it up here in verse 1. At that time Merodach-Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent a letter and a present to Hezekiah, for he heard that he had been sick and was recovered. And we find that, just like that little prayer that was written and inserted yesterday, that this chapter and the last chapter, if we took out the prayer that Hezekiah wrote and put these two chapters together, we would have the 20th chapter of 2 Kings. Merodach-Baladan is the worshiper of the rules of Baal, and over that which Baal rules. And Merodach here is Berodach there in 2 Kings. It is written as Berodach. And we'll find that he is the son of Baladan, and he is the king of Babylon. And Baladan simply means Baal rules. And Baal was an image they worshipped back then, a Lord image. It was a Lord image. Baal means Lord, or ruler over, or in the sense of a ruler, this one who is given the rule over. And here Babylon simply means confusion. Babel is confusion, and Babylon is that place of confusion. But the king there, he sends a present to Hezekiah. Hezekiah is the strength of God, and because he heard that he was sick and now he was feeling better, to, and Ezekiel was glad of them, and showed them his treasure house, the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious oil, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Ezekiel showed them not. So now they've sent a little party now, a little over to Hezekiah with a letter, and Hezekiah's taking him around town, showing him everything he's got. He's took him into the treasury house, and there he showed him all the silver and the gold and all the wealth of his nation, what little nation is left. We remember now they've been destroyed, and God just defended them against Assyria. God's caused enough strife now over in Assyria. He's took out Sennacherib, and that they're in enough strife now and turmoil that Babylon is going to begin to take over, and Babylon is going to be a new king on the scene, because see, God is moving, and he is now sending his judgment hand seat over into Babylon, and he's going to begin to use the nation of Babylon to come against all these other nations in judgment, because they exalted themselves. Assyria did. This Asher, this altar there they made for themselves, exalted itself. Babylon's come in now, this great king of Babylon, and we're going to find out he's going to begin to take rule. And these are the precursors, this little party that he sends even to Hezekiah. We're going to find there wasn't a whole lot of silver and gold left, see, but there was a little. They had laid up some, but they had been taxed by Assyria and other nations and brought into tributary until there was almost nothing left. And these precious oil and the spices, these are the storehouses where they kept all their goods. So he was taking them around town, showing the militaries, their armies, right where to hit, right where all the food storages are, right where the treasuries are. He's going to show them right where the armories are. So this is not a good thing to do. Why? Well, you just showed your enemy your hand. And we'll find that's exactly what he did. 3. Then came Ishaiah the prophet unto the king Hezekiah, and said unto him, What said these men, and from where came they unto you? And Hezekiah said, They are come from a far country unto me, even from Babylon. When Ishaiah asks now Hezekiah, just where these guys come from and who are they, he tells them, well, they're from Babylon. And right then, Ishaiah already knows, because he done knows what God said. He's going to, even though he's defended now Judah against his enemy, remember, he's like a lion standing over his prey, see, because he's yet to devour Judah. 4. Then said he, What have they seen in your house? And Hezekiah answered, All that is in my house have they seen. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not shown them. So Ishaiah wants to know, what'd you show him? And Hezekiah basically just tells him, I showed him everything. I showed him there's nothing I didn't show him. I took him around and showed him the armory and where we keep all of our food, and I showed him all the money. I showed him every great place in town. 5. Then said Ishaiah to Hezekiah, Hear the word of the Lord of hosts. So now we're going to find that Ishaiah is going to respond to Hezekiah, because he understands the ramifications. He knows what's going to happen because of this. He's seen it before. 6. Behold, the days come, that all that is in your house, and that which your fathers have laid up in store until this day, shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing shall be left, saith the Lord. So we have here a prophecy now. The days come, and what's going to happen is that Judah's going to be carried off into captivity. And what we're going to find, there's a new beginning here in this story. See, there's a new beginning. God had showed the end now, and now he begins to make a new beginning. See, he's going to bring in another, because Assyria exalted himself, and God is showing himself mighty in the earth. Now he's going to turn everything over to Babylon. He used these two as an example. Now he's going to bring in Babylon, include them, because it's all confusion. See, God said, I'm going to bring confusion on the earth. I'm going to bring the spirit of sleep, a spirit of drunkenness, a spirit of a false prophet. See, all these things God are sent into the earth. Well, this becomes Babylon, even of the end time. These are the prophecies of even today. 7. And of your sons that shall issue from you, whom ye shall beget, shall they take away, and they shall be officers in the palace of the king of Babylon. Even your sons, the king of Babylon and his armies are going to come here, is what Isaiah is telling Hezekiah. And they're going to carry off everything that you have, everything that you own, everything your fathers have laid up. They're going to carry off to Babylon. And your sons, they'll make them officers in the palace of the king of Babylon. And we're going to find in Kings, that's exactly what happens. Remember, the king of Babylon came in after Josiah. See, and when Eliakim became the king, and what did he do? He changed his name to Jehoiakim and made him and set him over the throne. And when he didn't do what he was told, he killed him and put his brother in his place. We'll find out. 8. Then Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, good is the word of the Lord, which you have spoken. He said, moreover, if but there shall be peace and truth in my days. So once again, here goes the prudent man is leaving. He doesn't care about the next generation. Only cares about his own days, his own wealth, and his own riches, that which he can spoil and plunder and take. Even though God had delivered, God had shown himself magnificent, we're going to find, see, that God is still going to punish Judah for their arrogance and their ways. But this sounds familiar if we go back to when Eli, the priest, and his sons were exacting upon the people, and God said, I'm going to punish you. And he basically just said, well, good is the word of the Lord, for whatever pleases the Lord. And we're going to find out this is even an example where the king here, he is going to be made an example of. God's going to punish him. God's going to punish his seed. He says he's going to deliver him into the king of Babylon. There they'll be officers. See, because this is a punishment that comes. Hezekiah has turned from God. He is turned from God even in his understanding, even though God has healed him. God has healed Hezekiah, caused him to live, healed him from his sickness. We'll see that he forgets even about those that are to come. All right, we're going to move on to chapter 40.